man, they're here. Yes, foldable phones are now a reality. The first one that I've had the privilege of using as my daily driver for a whole week is the new Samsung Galaxy Fold. And all I have to say is that I'm in love. I know, as a tech journalist, I'm supposed to keep my emotions in check, but as someone who covers technology day in and day out, how am I not supposed to be excited about the future and a very good, matured representation of the future? That too. Hi, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and this is our full review of the Samsung Galaxy Fold, the phone cum tablet that ushers in a new era of smartphone design. But before we move on, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever Mr. Phone puts out an awesome new tech video. So yeah, as the name suggests, the Galaxy Fold, folds, and the whole design was met with some criticism when the first lot of review units went out to international journalists back in April. The biggest concern was that the protective layer on top of the display looked like a normal screen guard, and unbeknownst to journalists testing the phone, peeling it off was not really an option. Well, screens on these review units got damaged as a result. However, Samsung was unperturbed and handled it maturely. It actually went back to the drawing board, and it also added T-shaped clips at the grooves to ensure that dust doesn't enter through the gap. The gap has also been reduced now. Plus, the protective layer on the top of the display has been extended into the bezels, ensuring that folks don't mistake it for a layer that can be peeled off. But most importantly, Samsung has added a smattering of warnings, which includes one where you are explicitly advised not to push your nails into the display. Anyway, for me, the Fold feels sturdy and rigid from the get-go with a very solid fulcrum. The mechanism of gears inside the well-sealed metal hinge is very well done. Initially, I was a little wary of the folding mechanism and was using the Fold with kid gloves. But after a day, I was folding and unfolding the phone without the fear of damaging the display or breaking anything. Honestly, there is no more fuss with the design now. Let's get one thing straight though. When folded, the phone looks like a chunky pencil box and it is pretty heavy to hold. When unfolded, you cannot use it with one hand. For example, try taking a selfie with one hand stretched in tablet mode. It is nigh impossible, which means you will have to use two hands to take a selfie. This is where I feel Samsung could have added S Pen support to the Fold. It would have not only been a perfect tool for the tablet display, it would have also been useful to take selfies using the Bluetooth button as well. To unlock the phone, you get a side-mounted fingerprint scanner that is separate from the power button. This is odd considering the S10e has it embedded on the power button, which feels more logical. That said, it is just a minor quip. It works extremely fast and should be no cause of concern. There's also face recognition and it works with the screen open and without, both. I'd still stick to the physical fingerprint reader considering it is more secure. Oh, by the way, there's no headphone jack on the Fold and you only get a single SIM card slot. Just putting it out there. The Fold has a fairly small 4.6-inch Super AMOLED HD Plus display on the front, and when unfolded, you get this massive tablet-sized 7.3-inch dynamic AMOLED panel with a QHD Plus resolution. Ideally, you are expected to use a display on the front for most regular activities. Therefore, let's take a look at the smaller screen first. In the day and age where 6-inch displays are the norm, the 4.6-inch front panel feels excruciatingly small initially. Over time though, I really got used to typing on it despite my pudgy fingers. It gets the job done for surfing Instagram, reading tweets, browsing through emails, and maybe sending out quick text responses. But try gaming or watching videos on the display and it feels weird. For that, you will need to open the display to enjoy it in full glory. On the contrary, you will need to close the display to use the earpiece for calls. And call quality is excellent, nothing to complain there. Now coming to that gorgeous 7.3-inch dynamic AMOLED panel with the squarish aspect ratio, well, it is impressive what Samsung has managed to achieve with bendable plastic screens. However, at certain angles you can definitely see the crease and feel it when you swipe your finger through the middle. But you know what, this is first generation tech and I cannot be so harsh on Samsung. In fact, during most of your regular usage, you will not notice the crease, but you will notice that weird side notch. Yup, the notch is actually more annoying than the crease. Another problem is the dimension of the internal display. The aspect ratio for most apps is warped in its current state. Content gets cut in Instagram, and since that's not enough, the notch cuts off key UI elements in a game like Call of Duty. I sincerely hope app developers can fix the problem soon. One of the other things I had to test was how the touch felt. Now, I could test it immediately considering on the outside you get a glass panel and inside it is plastic. So the feeling of touch is completely different. Glass feels more smooth compared to the slight friction you get on plastic. That said, the haptic feedback is pretty damn good across the system. Also, the typing experience on a split keyboard on the tablet is damn intuitive. You get used to it within seconds. Overall, the display on the inside has a few issues, but your mind dismisses all of that when you unfold and fold the device. It is that magical. To adapt to the new form factor of the Samsung Galaxy Fold, Samsung has had to make a few customary changes to its very own One UI on top of Android 9 Pie. There are two new cool additions that I want to highlight out here. Firstly, there is app continuity, which is not to be confused with Apple's continuity. Essentially, the apps that you open on the front display will seamlessly transfer to the display on the inside when you unfold the fold. However, a few apps have not been optimized yet, which means the aspect ratio doesn't change. I'm not very optimistic that app developers will recode the aspect ratio inconsistencies for the new Fold immediately because the phone needs to be in more hands. I remember distinctly that many app developers hadn't updated the design of the apps to include the notch on the iPhone 10 until even the iPhone XS was launched. So it could take a while on the Fold as well. The other software addition is that you can open up to 3 apps in the cool new multitasking mode. You can invoke a slide out panel from the bottom right part of the display with a list of apps that support split screen. It uses the real estate really well. Now, is there something that Samsung could have done to elevate the whole UI experience in the unfolded tablet mode? Absolutely. For example, Samsung could have used one half of the display when you're playing a game to actually show the controls and the game is playing on the other half of the display. Stuff like this to improve the user experience would have been great. But even in its current state, One UI for Galaxy Fold is pretty well polished, so I have no complaints as such. So, if you want to take photos with the Fold, you can use one of the 6 cameras on the phone. Yup, 6. 3 on the rear, 2 selfie cameras on the notch inside, another selfie cameras above the front display. But here's the thing, the kind of pictures that you get with the Fold are exactly what you can get with the Note 10 Plus, which means you get excellent dynamic range, sharp details in good lighting situations, and slightly poppy colors. In indoor lighting, the pictures lack the kind of sharpness that you get from the iPhone 11 Pro, especially after the Deep Fusion update. Low-light pictures look good and sharp too. The Fold continues to be the second best phone for capturing videos, right behind the iPhone 11 Pro. Selfies are not the strong suit of the Fold though, just like the Note 10 Plus. All in all, the Galaxy Fold has one of the best cameras you can find on a smartphone, but it is definitely not the absolute best. That would be the iPhone 11 Pro, which is also a phone that cannot fold. Just putting it out there. The Fold is the first flagship smartphone in a long time in India to use Qualcomm's flagship SoC. So you get Snapdragon 855, 12 gigs of RAM and 512 GB of storage on the Fold. The phone performs admirably in daily tasks and gaming as well. Take a look at the benchmark comparisons and it holds up well against OnePlus 70 with the Snapdragon 855 chipset. In fact, it is better than the Galaxy Note 10 Plus in most scenarios. Gaming is a blast on the Galaxy Fold. While I had to adjust to the unique aspect ratio with respect to the joystick and fire button in COD, it became second nature to me while playing. Honestly, the Galaxy Fold feels tailor-made for FPS and TPS games like PUBG and COD. Oh yeah, PUBG runs at extreme graphics in HDR setting. Visuals are just a treat on the Fold. Couple the gaming performance and the multimedia performance in general with the excellent dedicated dual speakers in stereo setup, your experience of using the device is amplified multifold. No pun intended. The speakers are loud, crisp, and possibly the best setup on a smartphone yet. Powering all this tech inside the Galaxy Fold is a fairly large 4380 mAh battery, and I expected it to deplete quickly considering you have two displays to power. But the Fold completely bowled me over. You can easily eke out 7 hours of screen on time from the phone on regular usage, and the battery life can last beyond a day. It is definitely better than the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I think this has something to do with the fact that the 855 is far better optimized than the Exynos 9825. Well, you also get a 25-watt charger inside the box, just like you did on the Note 10 Plus, and it charges the phone from 0 to 100 in exactly 2 hours, which is not too bad, but not too great either considering you have much faster solutions out there. Apart from this, there is support for wireless charging and reverse wireless charging as well. You can use the reverse wireless charging support to top up the battery of the bundled Galaxy Buds if you wish. So overall, the Galaxy Fold is a solid A on battery life. So that is our full review of the Samsung Galaxy Fold. It's not like this phone doesn't have its share of problems. In fact, Joanna Stern, reviewing for the Wall Street Journal, clearly highlights how you might have to use it carefully in the real world. Although after using it for a week, I'm convinced that you don't need to be extra careful with it, obsessing over its fragility. Trust me, this thing can take the real world, albeit a world that does not involve fieldwork or adventure sports. Come to think of it, which glass-bodied phone does? So if you have made up your mind on buying the Galaxy Fold, pull that damn trigger already. I would have too. Only problem is I don't have rupees 1,65,000 for a phone. Hi Nitesh.
Hi.
He's my boss. Nitesh, can you increase my salary so that I can afford the Galaxy Fold?
Nope.
Well, you have Ritesh's answer. It's a no. So in case you guys are willing to give me some donations, do let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Ershad from Mr. Phone signing off. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.